Folks, I wish you could see what we have in this room right now, but we're never going to do a face cam, so deal with it. I'm in charge of the sound today. Anyway, I was in like a home goods store because I'm married and that's what you do. If you're married, you just stand there for 2 hours while your wife looks at stuff and is like, this is cool.
I would literally go insane. If I'm in a store for more than like 30 minutes, I go insane.
Well, to be fair, it's like we were without the kids because our dad was watching the kids.
That's good then.
So yeah, you're gonna milk it anyway. And you know those like commemorative letters you can get to like spell out your name in like 6-inch letters or whatever. I was looking through and they were like almost empty of like every letter except for like C, F, and G. So like no of the R, S, T, L, and E. You know, none of the Wheel of Fortune fancy, good letters. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check on Amazon. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. Anyway, and I found for $5 a piece, any letter you want lit up. And they're like, I don't know, 9 inches tall? Pretty tall. And they light up too. And I got J, an O, and 2 D's. That's Jod, folks. That's our national
and it's like
hero.
big and bright. And
it's big
awesome.
and bright, and it's hilarious. It's almost like a carnival, like setting. How it's like set up. It's like almost like an old school carnival thing, and it's lit up right now. The room is dark. But
yeah, it has like
Jod.
the little light bulbs every like inch or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It's definitely like
exactly
like an old school carnival thing. I think one time I was doing a speed run of this game and I forgot to do this, and I was so mad.
Dude, this Valve requirement is just like the epitome of like, oh, you needed this, and there's no possible way you know that you need this.
Yep.
And then you just have to go back like 4 rooms. It's like fun.
Do you know Jeff Bezos is going to space because he can? I just found that out today. They, this is one of those rare rooms that does not have an item box, right? Yeah, it has a typewriter, but no item box. That's not very common in the series.
There's rooms with... There's another one without a typewriter, but has a chest.
In Resident Evil 1, the main hall, the room where you start in, has a typewriter, but no chest. And in Resident Evil 0, there's lots of typewriters and no chests. RE0 Run 1. Did we do that yet?
No.
Probably never.
I don't... Yeah. I doubt you ever want to do that.
I appreciate RE0 a lot, but I feel like it's the hard... I appreciate what they tried to do, which is just like make it completely different, which like I appreciate. I find it to be easily the hardest of all the... I gotta be honest, probably all of the Resident Evil games ever made.
Yeah,
it's just like
everything about it is
it's just made to be hard.
Yeah. Whoosh!
Yes. RE Remake is pretty hard, but it's the hard that you're like, oh, I gotta do this.
Yeah, RE0 is all about Rebecca is a glass cannon, can literally only take like probably 2 hits before she's in danger. And even though you have 12 inventory slots between the two of you, everything takes 2 spots.
Shotgun takes 2 slots.
The hook shot that you need like 3 times in the game takes 2 spots.
And you know they just did that to be butts.
And they did other stuff, like Rebecca's the only one that can mix herbs, and it's like, why?
It's
so annoying. The game's so annoying.
I know that... Oh, pardon.
And then you have the problem with inventory management of them, you just put items on the ground. So, like, when you need that hook shot later in the game, it's like, well, go all the way back. RE0 sucks.
Just found out. John's dead.
John!
Never mind. Let's just get out of here.
Man, you're really heartbroken about this.
So, what was I gonna say? Like, RE0, they went out of their way to be like, how can we make this game as annoying as possible? And, like, I feel like with the 6 inventory slots, I feel like that's fair if you think about, like, carrying big items. Like, I could carry a shotgun, a handgun on me, like, some bullets in my pockets or whatever, and then, like, an herb. There's not much else, right? Like, that's realistic. But when you make the shotgun 2 slots out of 6, 1/3 of your inventory at all times, it's like, that's not realistic. Then it's like, what? I have the shotgun, a handgun, some bullets, and that's it. And it's like, no, dude.
That is it, yeah. And like an herb you can like just put in your pocket.
So, and
you
again,
probably put multiple herbs in one pocket.
Again, realism and zombie games, I get it. But like,
yeah.
That's why RE4 is so based.
It's like the opposite problem that this game has. This game, like especially when you have the character with 10 item slots, and this also applies to RE3, that inventory management is basically non-existent. But RE0 is the complete opposite. It's like tedious item management.
You gotta like think about literally everything you're doing. But to be fair, I think the game's pretty scary, and I think the leech monsters are pretty cool, and I don't remember a single thing about the long-haired guy in the white lab coat. I just remember he exists.
It's amazing that it's literally a prequel to the entire series, and it's so unmemorable and boring.
Yeah. If it was just the train section, honestly, I could get on that. Speaking of just one area, I am getting further and further into like charting out the Cold Fear run that I started on the Xbox, and I honestly feel like that entire game is just on that one ship.
It probably is. Yeah.
And
it's not. It literally looks like it has a very small budget.
And like the whole like, just imagine a Resident Evil game where like they were just like, it's just. I know that last time we complained about like the areas as you go on get worse and worse in Resident Evil, but imagine if it was just one area that you just like went over and over again.
Yeah, it's like the mansion a little tiny bit bigger, but that's the entire game. It's like, no, you need that levity between the big open areas and the not.
So I beat Resident Evil Village on Village of Shadows. I didn't cheat, but I didn't make it as hard as I could because I used the Infinite Magnum because, dude, I seriously died like at least 10 times on that.
Yeah.
Although the Heisenberg fight, I literally died on 30 times because you have to do that absolutely perfect. And there's no cheating you can do because you just have the items they give, the weapons.
Yeah, obviously at the second half you can just shoot him with a Magnum 5
Oh yeah, dude, once I got to the second part, he died in a second,
yeah.
and I was like, are you
only have to
kidding
try.
me?
Like, most of the bosses just melt the Magnum, even in Village of Shadows.
And Chris's part, where you have to fight the big thing with the, I don't know, tentacles on his back, third try for me.
Yeah. I probably only died once too, but I hate the Chris section on repeat playthroughs. It's like a cool gimmick, like the first time, but that's it.
And I'm about halfway through Mercenaries. I think I have 2 SS ranks. So I did 6 stages so far. I have 2 SS ranks, 2 S ranks, and 2 A ranks. I'm just literally never going to be able to do the factory level, and the main reason is not because of how difficult it is. It's because I constantly forget where I'm supposed to go, because it all looks the same. Like, it doesn't flow, and you have to remember, like, straight, right, left, up these stairs, up these stairs.
It's not only, like, samey, but it's just so pitch black.
But, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna S-rank all of them. I might not double S-rank all of them, and I say that, and I probably will. And I definitely will not triple S-rank them. That is not happening in a million years.
So this thing right here, you can only see it when you use the lighter on this flare thing, which is basically just an item check for Claire. But that unlocks the custom Magnum parts.
Can you get that if with Claire if you don't?
Yeah, if you know it's there.
Okay.
Like, I mean, you saw me just picking it up.
I honestly don't think I ever knew that, to be honest with you. I don't think I ever did. So that's kind of rip. That's kind of cool.
Ada, stop putting.
Ada, wait.
Oh, they both died.
Nice. Shotgun shells.
No.
Oh,
the
even
base.
Better. Oh God. Guys, do you want something? Do you want a weapon that is like super, super, super cool to use?
Yeah, it's
and
so satisfying.
Feels so satisfying. Here we go. Ready? Why can't there be like? What is another? All right, here's the question of the part. What's another weapon that's as satisfying as that? I feel like
there's not many.
The super shotgun in Doom for sure. I think that's only Doom 2. I think Doom 2 is the only one that's a super shotgun. Oh God, it's so awesome. I would say the Magnum in most Resident Evil games, like the early ones, just because it can like take off all zombies' heads, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
I would say, is there anything in Resident Evil 4? I love the Striker. I'm not gonna lie.
I really like the Red 9 pistol.
Oh yeah, that's a really good one too.
Other than that, the shotguns are fine.
I love the striker with the 100 bullets.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously awesome.
So awesome. The Magnum in Resident Evil Village is cool, but not like all-time cool.
We finally arrived. There must be something hidden here.
Okay.
So the second half of this game is excessively linear, more than like almost any other Resident Evil like ever made.
Yeah.
So I think they just, it's like replaying this, like it is like there is no deviations at all.
Well, I mean, they did what, Resident Evil 1 came out in 96, and this game came out in 98, despite the fact that they pretty much made Resident Evil 1.5 in full. Ooh.
I have so much ammo, I can literally kill everything with the Magnum, and I'd be fine.
Glorious. But you're gonna pick up those shotgun. Oh, nope, rip. Gone. No shotgun.
I'll get
shells.
them on the return trip.
Anyway, what was I gonna say? Dang, I forget. Brain. It's the only bad thing about doing these after work. Brain hurt, no thank good.
Yeah, grunting after for 9 hours alone, basically. It's tough. Mentally and physically.
And I don't drink. I don't do none of that stuff. Just because I don't know.
I don't drink almost at all.
I'm the biggest baby. Like, if I have a beer, I'm like, my belly hurts. Like, literally. I'm like, or if I have, like, I'm always like, oh, I want fast food. And then, like, 10 minutes later, I'm like, my belly hurts. So I'm like, why don't I just have salads every day? Why don't I just do it? You killing him?
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, big guy. You lose. What a weakling.
What a weakling, dude. Might as well. What am I gonna get? Probably shotgun shells. I think I killed this guy like every time, and he's always shotgun shells.
One thing
I guess it's predetermined, probably per encounter.
I sincerely love Resident Evil Village, and it's probably, it's got to be top 4. If the Holy Trinity before was Resident Evil 1, Remake, and 4, it's right there.
Yeah, I like 1, 3, Remake 1 better, but Village is quite good.
But
also, I really do like this game. Like, this is in my top 5, but it's like 5th.
Yeah. But the one thing I will say that's interesting is, even though it has pretty, oh my god, I didn't even realize there's Magnum bullets there. Even though it has a very similar item inventory thing to Resident Evil 4, it's just not as fun as Resident Evil 4. Like, the inventory management in Resident Evil 4 is literally a game upon itself, and I find it amazing. And I think maybe the reason is because you can get infinite ammo and stuff, and then once you get infinite ammo and stuff, you're like, literally this, I will never run out of, like, space. You know?
I also think that RE4's interface is way more dynamic and responsive and quicker. Just like stacking stuff in RE8 is just not as good or as intuitive as 4.
Yeah. I saw some leaks, and they're like, probably literally nothing, but they said Resident Evil 4 is going to come out in early 2021? Early 2023. They're going to announce it next year in summer, which I'm like, do they really have these things planned out that far? I mean, I don't know.
Obviously, they have multiple studios working on multiple games at the same time.
Well, my thing is, like, I know Marvel can be like, here's the next 10 years of Star Wars movies. Rip.
Ada, can you hear me?
But with video games, I feel like there's more to it. There's more that can go wrong.
Yeah, it's like everything can go wrong in game development. I've been watching a lot of videos about histories of like failed or really bad games, and like sort of the drama behind the scenes and like dev studios and publishers.
Almost every game that comes out that's really bad is like, why is it bad? Oh, because of this developmental thing.
Yeah, or the publisher rushed it and gave them no time and had demands.
I mean,
like literally everything.
the most famous bad game of all time, E.T. for the Atari 2600, was made in, what, 5 weeks by one guy? Which is half the reason why I'm like, it's not even that bad. That's my unpopular video game opinion.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
Compared to other Atari games, it's really not
E.T.,
bad.
like, not only is E.T. not the worst game of all time, it's not even the worst Atari game. It's not even one of the 20 worst Atari games. At least with E.T., you can play it for, like, a minute and be like, I understand what I'm supposed to do, right? Like, it's not fun, don't get me wrong, it's not great. Good lord, you tanks. Speaking of tanks.
Nice.
See you, William.
Not bad.
But there's tons of Atari games that you start them up and you're like, what am I doing? Like, God,
yeah,
they're just so bad.
If people hate E.T. for being, like, convoluted and, like, nothing makes sense, like, there are so many adventure games in Atari where you're just like, what am I doing?
Yeah. I mean, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, is, like, way worse in that regard. And, of course...
Welcome back. Hey, take it easy. We're inside Umbrella's secret lab. I'll go find something to treat that wound.
How do you know
so
that?
just rest here in the meantime.
I'll only slow you down with these injuries. Go. Save yourself.
Is it just me, or does everybody always ignore what I say? I told you, it's my job to look after you.
I got a simp for you, Ada.
Be in danger if you stay with me. I know I've only known you for a short period of time, but I really enjoy being with you.
Liar!
I know I'm not capable of caring about anyone, but
At least she admits it.
I
What-
don't want to lose you.
We're leaving this place together. Wait here for me. I'll
Can
be
you
right
give
back.
me a tier 3 sub, senpai? Yeah, when you talk about, like, worst games of all time, you could, like kind of AVGN went down the route where, like, you just get to games that aren't really games, or games that, like, weren't even meant to
Yeah,
exist, like Hong Kong 97 and stuff like that. But for me, a worst game of all time has to be something that they, honest to God, gave a try on. You know what I mean? Like, they, honest to God, put it together, had a team, and they were like, this is good, right? Like, something, even, I would even go as far to say something that, like, didn't have a super crazy, like, interference from the publisher, you know what I mean? Like, the game that comes to mind for me is Bubsy 3D. Like, they, honest to God, released that game, and they were like, this is fine.
Well, Accolade, the publisher, was hemorrhaging money. They needed to release that as fast
Oh,
as
so is that
possible.
even part of it?
Yeah. I think the most infamous example of a horrible game with, like, almost no publisher interference is Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, that's true.
I forget the guy's name, the director, but he was basically let to do anything he wanted for 11 years. And, like, when you let it develop... Publishers are evil, but they are necessary evil. Because developers, like, a lot of times, because they're creative types, they just want to perfect something, and, like, they want to introduce more features over time. Like, the scope of the game in their mind is always expanding.
Well, I mean, look at...
And at a point, a publisher has to step in and be like, okay, we're going to fund this project, but you have to refine these ideas and just work with what your premise is already. No feature bloat, no anything.
Look at, a great example of that is look at,
I don't even know why I'm grabbing these. 60.
Look at Kojima when he was with Konami. Like, his games were like... Are you serious?
Are you kidding me? That sucks. That's never happened before.
His games were, like, pretty good. And then he goes off on his own. And I'm sure Konami was like, please, Kojima-senpai.
Okay.
Please,
I
were
hope
probably...
I hope it just resets. I don't need to do this right now, but where it is, this has never happened before to me. Oh, I'm stuck.
Can you climb on it?
Oh yeah, that's right. Maybe I can go over here. No.
No. But anyway, Konami was probably like, hey, you gotta release this game, bud. You know, eventually, and he was like, fine. And then you have him just pretty much left alone with Death Stranding, and look at it. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it released. All things considered.
Did you see that bullet hole? That was kind of cool.
What? What was that?
Sometimes when you shoot the screen with a shotgun, little holes will show.
I think I remember that. Vaguely. That's a completely unnecessary but cool touch.
Yeah, the enhanced liquors can still take like 3 custom shotgun rounds, so sucks.
Were the liquors ever in another game?
Were they in RE3 at all?
No, they're not in
I
RE3.
don't think so.
That's such a weird enemy to just be like, nah, we're good. They might be in 6.
Okay.
I don't really know or care. And they might be... They're not in Revelations 1. They might be in Rev 2. I kind of forget. That's so weird. It's like one of the best parts of the game. Like, the liquor is just a great enemy design. And they're like, nah.
Please, no. Are you serious? Oh god, thank god. Please don't do that again.
Woo lad.
Alright. I do have some safety saves just in case something happens, but the save I have is past this, so don't mess up before that. I do notice that this disc is a little weird. It looks perfect, but it obviously was buffed. So I must have gotten a scratch that affected the actual data a bit. Please don't screw me over. It's only crashed one time for me.
Fastest elevator. Second fastest elevator of all time.
House of the 2.
Yep. That elevator would, like, make me throw up with how fast it went.
It's like Mach 1.
Yeah. The 50, I'd be like, oh, God. That's sad. What do you think they used to record that sound? Like an actual gun?
I have
And
no
if
idea.
so, what makes that noise? And if so, how is Leon not, like, flying back every time he shoots it?
Well, the one problem with the custom shotgun is that it's a lot slower than a regular shotgun.
True.
I don't even know if I need to show this, but I probably should.
What, Ada?
Yeah.
Do you have to even do this? Oh, she's gone.
Where did she go?
Yeah, I don't know if that affects any sort
Oh.
of continuity, but I've always done it, so.
Oh, that's right. In if you do Leon A, he just carries her in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, in the B route, you enter the
Yep.
the entire lab in a different way from that manhole thing. Ventilation shaft.
I wonder what Ada did. Hope she's okay. They're making like a Netflix Resident Evil show or something. It's just...
Dude, Netflix has been making so many weird, like, video game adaptations with shows that have been in production forever. Like, Bloodborne. Like, why make that? Why does Netflix want to make that?
I honestly wonder about Netflix's, like, how they make money. And I know that sounds crazy, because they have probably, I don't know, a couple 100 million subscribers. But, like, man, they, like, throw money at everything. It's crazy.
Time for the best thing ever. The most necessary machine.
Like, Netflix has all these, like, shows they make, and I know I'm not their core demographic, but, like, almost none of them appeal to me, and I'm just like, okay. But over the course of time, they, like, lose a bunch of, like, awesome, like, normal shows and movies and stuff, and they're like, well, that's okay, we have all this stuff we made, and I'm like, okay, cool, a bunch of teen drama, I'm really happy that that exists.
Yeah, it's probably just so cheap to make. That's the only thing that I can think of, at least.
Well, but then sometimes they throw their money at, like, really huge projects, like The Irishman, made by Martin Scorsese, that's not cheap, starring Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, a bunch of other, like, famous Italian actors. It's like, that's a 3.5 hour movie, that ain't cheap. You know what I mean? Like, everything about it, I'm like...
I know they made a kind of high-profile Will Smith movie that, like, reviewed terribly, but actually, like, I guess turned a profit.
Was that Gemini Man?
I guess.
I'm not sure. And then like I don't know, it's just funny how now all of a sudden with all these streaming services, every single one's like we can make our own shows now. Like Apple TV makes its own show, and like Hulu makes their own shows, and Amazon makes their own shows, and it's like I just like in a span of 5 years we went from like
do I want to get this? Flamethrower sucks.
don't even grab it, it's stupid.
It's like kind of cool and good for like the one thing I need to do, but whatever.
Lab card key.
Time for the most overkill. I don't need to do this room in the world.
But I like how we went from like, oh man, like paying $100 for cable is such a ripoff, and I only watch however many channels or whatever. To like, if I want to watch Office now I need Peacock. If I want to watch Game of Thrones now I need HBO Go.
So real quick,
yeah.
If you use the anti-BOW gas in this first scenario, it is already used in this, and it makes the plant monsters harder in the second playthrough.
Wow.
So that's the one mistake I made while making this perfect save.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, the plants turn like red and they have more health and do more damage.
Kino with no music or sound.
And two things of shotgun shells.
Good lord. I'm currently subscribed to Netflix, Hulu, Prime, although I do Prime for the store. I split YouTube TV with RJ. I split HBO Max with RJ. And Ashley's family has Disney Plus, which we use. That's like 6 different things. Not including, Peacock or Apple TV or all that stuff. It's like, then there's like a Paramount channel now. There's just like, everything's gonna have its freaking channel, you know? It's so crazy. Rip. Get that stuff. Make him pay.
Not agreement or something? What is going on? Ah, yes. Poisoned anyway. Well, at least there's some,
Like, literally right there.
right there. I literally played that as safe as possible, but, like, I guess maybe Leon was blocked from shooting with the Magnum, or maybe the auto-aim wasn't working, but whatever.
That's why when, like... that's what I want. That's why when people talk about, like, there being, like, essentially a Netflix for video games, I don't think that'll ever be done super well. Not only because of, like, the... Are you serious?
These do show up later, but I didn't know that they showed up immediately.
Not even because of the data limits or, like, you know, the ability to, like, download, but, like, literally every single, like, company is just gonna make their own thing. Like, Capcom would make their own thing, and, you know, Nintendo, obviously, their own thing, and all that kind of... Activision, their own one. And at that point, it's like, well, what am I doing, you know? Like, what am I subscribing to? Why can't I just buy the friggin' games?
Yeah, publishers wanting as much money as possible. It's like, unless the Netflix for games is like $50 a month, it's never gonna happen, and no one's gonna be willing to spend that much.
And it's funny because Xbox Game Pass is a friggin' amazing deal, but there's one problem with it. Whoa.
That's pretty cool.
And here's the one problem with it. Xbox has no exclusives. That's the problem. Name a Xbox One Series X game. Just name a single one that was produced only for the Xbox Series X. Not one like Resident Evil Village that can also play on the Series X. Name a single Xbox Series X game.
There's literally zero.
I don't know if there are any. I really don't. And how is it a next-gen system if it can also play on Xbox One, you know? Like, what's the purpose then?
Well, a lot of PS5 exclusives, or PS5 used to be exclusive, are coming out for PS4, like Gran Turismo 7. I think the only ones they really stuck the guns with is Ratchet & Clank and Demon's Souls and some of the other ones. But, I mean, there's at least there's something
Returnal.
It's just that all those games, like Returnal flopped, Demon's Souls flopped.
Demon Souls flopped.
Yeah, it sold horribly.
Maybe it's because people can't find the damn system.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously one of the big points. I don't know how Ratchet is doing, but we only sold a few copies.
Another one today, so we going through it, lads. I guess that's a good point. When you can't find the dang systems, what's the point? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Ooh, what's this?
And the min-max, I purposely kept my Magnum at 0
Glorious.
for no reason, because it refills. I guess I don't.
Can you check it? Can you check the Magnum? 10-inch barrel is put on a D50 AE. It can fire more powerfully. Okay. So a 10-inch barrel is like that long. Oh my god. Hello. Dude, that has so much pullback that it sent you into another screen. Oh, cool.
It's not like it matters. I have so much ammo. I literally could kill everything and have so much left over.
I think one of the big problems that's like tough for devs to work on is a lot of the coolest stuff in games you get at the very end. Now, that's been kind of worked on in recent years with like New Game Plus. Like, imagine Village if, like, by the time you could afford the Magnum or whatever, it's like, all right, you gotta start over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that game is designed that you cannot make enough money to upgrade, like, almost anything.
Well, like, with this, you get the custom Magnum and you can use it on, what, like, 6 enemies, 10 enemies?
Yeah. I don't even need to do this. This entire, like, moth thing and doing the fingerprint.
Do it.
Completely optional.
Do it.
I'll do it anyway. I get to use the Magnum, too.